This is a Penny Rosenthal kind of day. Surf is pounding on the beach. Beaches she spent hours and hours on, enjoyed it. And we are here today as the Lombo Key Turtle Watch Group, which Penny was associated with for many years, one of the early founders. And we are here today to celebrate her life and one of the passions that she so much enjoyed. Penny was designated as to a nest, and that means that the Lombo Key Turtle Watch Group monitors this nest throughout its history from the time it was first laid, and basically keeps track of how the nest goes. And once it hatches, the nest is excavated. The eggs, hopefully what we find are all hatched, but we count all those. We count the unhatched eggs, and we basically gather all the data on that particular nest. And then normally the people that are involved in our Name Our Nest, which basically we did this for Penny, are informed of just what the nest statistics were and how it hatched and everything else. So we use that theater, if you will, to have the Turtle Watch folks come here and basically celebrate the nest opening, which is something that I'm sure Penny would have really enjoyed. Turtle Watch is pretty much a devoted thing for 6 months. Turtle nesting season starts in early May, and by the time we're all done, it's very close to November. And of course, Penny was involved with this schedule for many years of her life, a lot of devotion. So we just hope we can do it up proud for her tonight. I'm sure she's here looking down and watching. This, of course, is the nest that we'll be excavating. And there's Frida. She will be the counter and kind of the master of ceremonies this evening. Cindy Seaman. And as you can see, people are starting to gather. All friends of Penny's, knew her well. And I believe there's also family here. I don't know all of her family. I used to see Penny walking on Gulf of Mexico Drive with some of her family in the morning. She was Penny was an avid walker, and I used to see her walking often. So you can see there's quite a turnout here to celebrate Penny's life and to enjoy one of her passions. Starting to take the tape off the 4 posts. The 4 posts, of course, designate exactly where Penny's nest was. And we are getting ready to excavate the nest, which basically means that the nest is hatched out. And we wait another 3 days, and then we dig it up and we count all the eggs, mainly statistics. But oftentimes we do find live turtles in there that just didn't have quite enough oomph to get out, and so we then release them. I think we may even have some additional baby turtles that we might release tonight. It's always nice to do this. It's for good educational purposes, and so it's a nice gathering. It's an educational event. People enjoy it. Plus, this has got the added interest because obviously this was a nest that was designated as Penny's nest. This was the steak that was on Penny's Penny's hatch. And I'm going to move over and try to get the speeches.
We decided to go to sleep. 6 of them came out of the nest, went straight into a crab hole, and went to sleep. We do have additional hatchlings tonight to release 3 more. Cindy is going to open the nest now. Bill's going to count, and then after we're done with the excavation, we're going to talk about Penny and what she meant to us. Okay? Very good, thanks.
This was a nest.
I know all of you are here tonight because Penny touched you in some way. She touched a number of people who weren't able to come tonight. I first met Penny back years ago before I became a permanent resident here in the area. We used to come down from Michigan on shelling trips. And this was before I knew anything about the Turtle Watch. And we would be shelling, my husband and I, and we kept seeing this lady walking up and down the beach, and we got to the point where we'd say hello, and then we'd stop and talk, and we got to the point where she was our very dear beach friend. Anytime we saw her, we would stop and talk to her, and we would compare shells, and she started talking to us about the turtles and the Longboat Key Turtle Watch. Well, that was something that was very foreign to us. Being from Michigan, we didn't know anything about sea turtles, but we knew we liked shells. We shared that with her. And then we started asking her more questions about the Longboat Key Turtle Watch. And she shared all of that information with us. And we thought, wow, that sounds like a really cool thing. You know, maybe if we ever get a chance to move down here, that might be something we'd be interested in. Well, now we're out walking the beach almost every day. My husband walks every day. And it was a lot to do with Penny, and I know that Penny encouraged so many people.
She is in the process of measuring now down to the first egg. She's dug down to where the eggs were, and we do a measurement from the top down to the first egg. And once all the eggs are taken out, she will measure to the bottom of the nest chamber, and she will also measure the width of the nest chamber. All the statistical data will go into mote marine research and eventually wind up with Florida Fish and Wildlife.
Every time I saw her on the beach, she had her bag of garbage. Yes. And she was
what we're hoping for is as many of these shells that you can see are open. That means that obviously they've hatched and the turtle left. That's what we hope for. A high percentage of cracked shells.
So she was such a wonderful, gracious lady. She meant so much to us, and I know that she meant a lot to all of you. We do have her family here, part of her family here. Would you like to introduce yourself? I'm Liz Rosenthal. And Rick?
I'm Rick. I am Penny's firstborn. She would be thrilled, truly, that you all were here. Mother loved her beach, and she loved her turtles, and she loved her friends. I can't thank Rita enough for thinking of this incredibly apt remembrance of Grandma Penny. We owe you so much. Great idea, wonderfully well executed, and the Rosenthal family thanks you so very much for being so loving. And to all of you for coming. For those of you that didn't know my mother, You missed a heck of a bride. For those of you that did know Mother, I know that you loved her and you know that she loved you in return. And I got a bonus out of the deal because I got to walk the beach many a time with her, and I got to know many of you as a result, and what a blessing that has been for me. Thank you all for coming. Continue to love one another. Please continue to love the turtles and continue to love our beach. Thank you all so very much.
Well, as we're still opening the nest, we're going to open this to anyone else who has something that they'd like to share regarding your experiences with Penny. Cindy.
I have a couple of emails we got back from folks who were not able to come here, so I told them that I would share their thoughts with everybody. So many of you know Joan Dunn. She was with the Turtle Watch Group for many years, and apparently Penny was a great inspiration to her. So her note was, she spent several years walking the beach and learned so much from Penny. Penny spotted her on the beach every day while she was visiting her mother, who lived at Whitney Beach. And she asked Joan to join as part of the Turtle Patrol, which Joan did for 9 years. And as Penny, Joan was a great garbage picker-upper too. So Joan says, a wonderful woman in every way. There was never a mean bone in her body, and she was one of a kind. It's absolutely true. The other email that we got in from John and Teresa Gibbon, and they're part of the Audubon Society. They live at Whitney Beach, and they are not able to be here. And they wanted to say that Penny was a delight, and both enjoyed speaking with her on the beach. Saw her almost every morning on the beach. So that's just a vision that we'll always have of Penny out there with her cane, with her garbage. And before she had the cane, she was just cruising right along. Inspiration to everybody for turtles and for birds. I mean, she knew her birds. And she's probably one of the reasons why this year I actually got involved watching the birds. I love the turtles, but I'm like, wow, there's so much more out here on the beach besides just the turtles. Enjoying everything. So the birds were a big part of what Penny was involved with too. So she was a wonderful lady.
Penny taught me a lot about birds and shells, and she had a way of teaching that was so good it made you feel like you learned it yourself, but you really learned it from Penny. And when I think of Penny, I think of one of my favorite Bible verses, which is James 4:10, humble yourself before the Lord and he shall lift you up. I never met a person who was more humble than Penny Rosenthal. And I just tried to bring Orville Clayton, who's 97 here, to this memorial. He wanted to come so badly, and it was not till a few minutes ago that he made the decision. He was not able to make it. He's 97, and he's not sick, but he just couldn't do it. But he wanted me to say, he said, I want everybody to know that she's the first person that took over for me. She was the permit holder for several years after Orville gave that up. And he said, she was one of my dearest friends in my whole life I ever had, and that she was an amazing woman, and that he is so happy that she and all of us took over for him, that he couldn't be happier, and he said that he's sorry he couldn't be here, but he loved us all.